Oh, you can barely see the color in my hair. That's interesting. It's blue. Well, probably more green now. Anyway, hello, Goodie Two Shoes. You can see it more now. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Aubrie Rose. We're doing a book review today, just this one. This is Welcome to the Dark House by Lori Faria Stolars. And this was the first young adult horror book that I've read. I do have another one. Basically, I just saw this one and A Danger to Herself and Others at my library, and I loved the font. It's very similar to a different horror book that I read, kind of very similar, same font. Same with the other one that I got. And yes, so I liked it, liked the cover, the name of it, I guess the title, words, and it reminds me of Welcome to the Jungle. So I read it like, welcome to the dark house, we got fun and games, but it actually does have a little thing like that in here, and I wrote it down, so I will find it and share it with you guys once I get to that part of it. So what this is about, it's basically, well, what the book starts off as is a girl, and her new name is Ivy, and her parents were murdered, and the serial killer that murdered her parents came into her room just as she was calling the police, I think. So as he was talking to her with a knife, the cops were coming, so you could hear the sirens. And so anyway, her parents died when she was young, and so she changed her name, changed her identity, moved to a foster family, moved in with a foster family, and so she's living in fear that he's going to come back and kill her, and she doesn't want to keep living in this fear. She wants to learn how to live with the fear instead of letting it control her, which is a great, she doesn't want this to be in control of her life anymore, which I loved her character for that. So the result of that is she enters this nightmare contest, sort of, where a director of a bunch of horror movies that she has not seen is running this contest where you submit your nightmare and in an essay in 1,000 words or less, and you could be chosen to go to this horror house pretty much for a weekend, and you would get to see a snippet of a new movie and get to do a bunch of fun horror things. So she's like, great, let me go do that and be a part of that to try to get over my fear. And so we get the point of views of almost all of the other characters that get selected from this contest. I didn't realize there were going to be more people, but I don't know if I just didn't read that part or wasn't focusing on that part, but there are more people that, there's 7 people that get chosen, and we only really get to meet 6 of them for reasons that you'll figure out later. But yeah, so we get 3 girls and 3 boys pretty much, and so we get kind of introducing them, half of them flying to or traveling to the haunted house, the horror house, and the dark house, and then we kind of meet the rest of them once those characters get there. And yeah, so the I'm talking about what the story's about. I forgot what I was doing for a second, sorry, I'm just rambling. Yeah, so basically she wants to to learn to live with her fear. That's the main character, and then the rest of them just kind of have their own reasons, but mostly they love this director, they love his horror movies, and so they're very excited to meet him, learn more about the new movie, and just go and be scared. That's what the story is about. And so the Ivy's part of the story really intrigued me, so I was really excited about it for her. But there is also, like, one of the main horror movies is like The Nightmare Elf. So in my hefty elf sack, your nightmares now keep. Better think twice before falling asleep. So basically, this Nightmare Elf will, like, if you go to this house where the Nightmare Elf is, he will like capture you, make sure your nightmares capture you, something like that. Sorry, my table is in here and I didn't even notice till right now. Sorry, that was probably annoying. Yeah, so there's that element of it as well. And so there's like a, what is it? Like an urban legend about this Nightmare Elf and the original family that he haunted, I guess. So there's that aspect in the book that was fun as well. So now we get to the haunted house. Well, let's go into the Good, Clean, Fun review. So for the Good, Clean, Fun review, so for good, sorry, did this book work? I don't, like, it sort of worked. It kind of had all of its acts and plot points, but the first act was pretty short, which normally I don't mind, and I think that it worked fairly well for the little bit that it was. And then we did get some different sections, like Act 2, I would say, was split pretty evenly between two different sections. And then the end was a little anticlimactic, and it was rushed, and then it felt slow, and like towards the end of it I kind of got bored and was just ready for it to be done. It was almost done, so I was ready to just kind of be done with the book, so that could have been me. But the pacing was a little weird and the layout was a little weird, but I would say that overall it worked pretty well. Those were like the only things, like pacing and setup, and like the ending. The hero at the mercy of the villain scene, I guess, was a little rushed compared to the rest of it. I think those were my only thoughts. Clean, I would say it had like a PG-13 rating. Like, there were no F-bombs, but there was quite a little bit of language and there were a few kisses. But other than that, it was like pretty clean. And for fun, I really enjoyed it. The end was not my favorite, but like I think that was just me. I was tired, I was ready to be done with the book, and so like when it kept going I was just like, I just want to be done. So that was me, I think. So now I guess we can get into some of my notes. This book was very twisty. Like I think I really like it when that part is in books. So like we got each of these characters. There was one more thing about the, like, Ivy and Shayla both seemed like different characters at the beginning of the book than what they ended up being once we got to the dark house. So I didn't really love that. Like, I loved Ivy's character at the beginning, but then she seemed like she didn't seem as strong, and like she was ready to go face her fears, which, yes, she's still scared, but I felt like, I don't know, she should have been, either it should have been apparent that she was second-guessing her decision, or she should have kept the same character to begin with. And also, I like Shayla's character at the beginning, but she was like depressed or something at the beginning, and then she seemed fine later, which was weird. I don't know. They just, both of those characters didn't seem completely consistent, which I did not love. Anyway, I kept track of all the characters. Yeah, I guess this is mostly just me keeping notes. Yeah, okay, so never mind. Those were just mostly notes about the book, which are spoilers that I'm not going to talk about because it's just me trying to keep track of all the characters. And yes, but I would give this book like in all, I would give it a solid 3.5 stars. And normally a 3 is like a book that wasn't for me, but I would still recommend it. I think because of the 0.5, like the almost 4 stars, like it's not quite, I didn't love it enough to be a 4-star book, but I liked it enough that I will be reading the sequel, and I also do recommend it. So like if you're a teen and you're looking for kind of like a horror book, a creepy book, you just kind of want to get into that, I'd recommend it. If you are older, I guess, than a teen, and you're maybe kind of looking at the horror genre, but you don't want anything too scary, I would say this one's also pretty good. I didn't read it at night though, so it was still a little scary. I haven't had nightmares since I've read this book, but it's also a good thing that I did, because based on the book, if I had had a nightmare, I wouldn't still be here. But anyway, so it was fun. I really liked it. I liked the spooky story. It was also kind of twisty, and like not all of the characters were the same at the beginning, or like not everything that you're being told is true. So then you get like, I don't know. Anyway, it's fun. It was a fun read, and I do have the second book. I have returned to the Dark House, and I'm excited to, well, I already did start reading it so that I could tell Goodreads that I'm currently reading it. So I read like the first few pages. I'm on like page 8. Anyway, so I've started that, and I'm already liking it. And yeah, like I really liked the beginning. It was kind of the end that wasn't my favorite, but I'm excited to figure out what happens in that one. There were a lot of questions that we were left with at the end of this book. So yeah, I'm excited to read more. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's it. So yeah, this book will be linked in the description if you want to check it out. Let me know what books you're reading or what you recently read, and yeah, let me know if you've read this book or if you would ever consider it reading a horror book. Yeah, yeah. So thank you guys for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye.